Excellent.
Yeah, we are, so we can help with everything.
Well, and
we were.
Christina said that if they did have that, she would blast it
Right.
in her e-blast list.
You might want to contact Open Table. That's where a lot of your reservations come from. And they work with a lot of restaurants to do that.
Well, it should say on our open table site, it should
Does
say
say.
handicap accessible.
Yeah, they help. Do you guys have residents living above you?
Yes,
Did you get any, well, do you have any petitions or support?
yes, we have a lot. But page 1, all these guys here at 280, they're all our neighbors, so.
A lot of people.
Neighbors, like upstairs neighbors?
Yeah, like in
Yes.
the building
In the
above us,
building,
so
yeah.
they can have all that.
Did you receive any objection, any pushback? How did they react to?
No, everyone's dying for it to open.
Everyone's
Dying for it
asking
to
why
open.
don't we have it?
Yeah.
So,
They said, oh, hopefully May. They're like, hey, no. Yeah, so they're excited for it.
Okay, if you could leave us.
Yeah, I'll give you all of this.
Have you guys had any issues with noise at the restaurant? Any complaints from upstairs or anywhere?
no, not so far.
Are you gonna have music outside?
No.
What about pet access? Pets?
Not yet, coming.
Yeah, that's once we're allowed, we'd like to obviously
Coming soon.
well behaved.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well behaved
outside.
I was just reading the regulations today.
What about?
Yes, outside.
Legally service.
I know.
I agree, folks.
We're talking about the trash.
Is that a thing though?
Yeah, I've been dealing with them personally.
But if you have a service, though, well, that makes sense.
So we've had it two
If you have a
occasions,
service,
have it collected on Saturday. I come in Sunday morning, obviously, as soon as we see it, we take it back
Take it
downstairs.
downstairs, yeah.
If it's,
Service check.
you know,
You can't do anything.
When it happens,
Yeah,
not.
right. You can't kick me
well,
out.
that happens, you know,
Yes.
if it's always on Saturday, just because I don't know, the different guy working.
Why do you have a service check?
He doesn't seem to.
I'm emotionally unstable and this check helps me cope with my struggle.
Are there any other questions from the community board committee?
It's a joke. Sure.
What?
Existing curb cuts.
Oh.
Yeah, as is, right? That's
Anything else? Are there any questions from the community for Row House Sidewalk Cafe application?
Just curious, what's the difference as far as the menu on Avenue and Row House?
Row has more like an American tapas menu, whereas Harlem Tavern is more casual, burgers, sandwiches, stuff like that.
Do you have pizza at the Harlem Tavern?
No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna forward this little piece to Christina to make sure that the clearance is enough from the curb cut to here. I don't know what dimensions are needed, so I'm just gonna ask her. So that's what I'm taking in photographics.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have a form that we're incorporating now with business owners, and we just like you to fill it out real quickly. It's just to ask you if there are any needs that you have that we can assist with.
Great.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a program that Mari has been working on, where we want to make sure that we are doing as much sort of outreach and offering services to businesses coming in, you know, whether it's financial, legal, things of that nature, where,
Or just hiring locally.
or hiring locally, as you guys know. We didn't ask you, you guys hire locally?
Absolutely, but we always need help finding good staff, so if you know anyone,
Locals.
always,
So
good
that's
and
what this is
local,
all
we
about.
absolutely want.
And
So-
that's to
Yeah,
help
absolutely.
support the businesses that want you to be here long term.
Well, we work with New York Business Solutions and Workforce
Yeah.
One.
They've been really helpful.
Actually, yesterday.
Did you guys do like, summer coming, did you guys do like a big hiring day for your outdoor?
Well,
Harlem
a lot of-
we do.
yeah, Harlem we do. Here, it's a lot of it's predicated on this Sidewalk Cafe, so we're still like kind of waiting. So at that point, we will need to hire more. Right now, we kind of have a stockpile.
Have you
So,
done your Harlem Tavern summer hiring?
We're in the process, like, I mean, obviously, you know, on a 70-degree day like this Sunday, we'll need 16 servers when it's 30 degrees and raining, we need 4. So at the moment it's very much up in the air and we're looking for people. We have reached out and worked with New York Business Solutions. They can send us people regularly. We usually start stocking up around March and April. We don't have one day that we do it. It's a constant thing right now, all the way up to.
How is your experience with New York Business Solutions?
It's hit and miss, you know. Like, I mean, they try, they screen, they send a lot of people, but people are just unreliable. You know.
We want to hear that on there. We want to know. We want to be able to track and see how we can, assist businesses better.
Yeah, like I mean, the people that we've worked with when we were open Row House,
They were so helpful.
They were
Yeah.
very helpful. You know, and they're keen and everything. It's just unfortunately, it's the same when you use Craigslist or you use anything else.
Yeah.
People just don't. They make interviews and just don't show up. It's a constant battle in our business.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
We'll ask them in the business session.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Yes.
Mr. Collins, do you want to stick around for a moment, just in case you might have a second or a second issue? Ms. Pasek? Eleanor, do you want to come up and we'll talk about your situation? This is Eleanor Pasek from Harlem Shake, 125th and 124th and Avenue on the corner. I think you probably don't know their establishment there. This is, again, it's not an application, we were contacted this afternoon. Similar to Barrel Wine, there was a snafu of some sort, and it was suspended or whatever.
It's not suspended, it expired.
It expired, okay.
Yeah, the confusion arose because all of the paperwork for our license was received by our architect, the SWA, and they would always forward us anything, so we figured that they have us covered. Our last installment for the Sidewalk Café was due in December, and we did receive an email stating that this will cover the period until February 28th this year, which I have the letter. We paid, of course, the installments always in due time. In the winter, obviously, we don't use sidewalks, so nobody really, raised any questions. But then the bill never came for the new year, and I asked the bookkeeper what's going on, because I know that there's a bill always due on March 1st. Then she looked into it and she says, well, I don't see that your license is active anymore, which obviously made us panic because it's crucial for us. I called the architect. They said that somehow when a bookkeeper was doing an online payment, she changed the mailing address, and she wrote me an email and saying that they don't know anything, that the package was mailed to us. We never received the package. We do get some mail lost sometimes. I don't know if it's neighbors or. To make the long story short, our license is expired. We went to the Sidewalk licensing department. They approved us for refiling, for a reapply, which we did. So we don't have to file the new drawings, but it takes 4 months. There is no acceleration on that, apparently, according to what they say, unless we can get an operating letter. It's going to really ruin not only us, but also employment of our employees, because our sidewalk seating is bigger than our inside seating. It's more than double. It's 85 seats, and inside we only have 55. That means we would have to lay off already the stuff we use, not to mention, we're building a new place. It's a real economical catastrophe for us. So I wanted this filing or the letter from the architect? The letter from the architect. I mean, I would also have to bring you the document which we received with the installments for sidewalk rent that state that, it pays through the end of fiscal year. But when we went to sidewalk, to the Department of Consumer Affairs, they said it doesn't matter that the fiscal year ends on February 22nd. Your sidewalk license doesn't need to match the fiscal year, so.
Sorry. So, now, so did the DCA, you're gonna read us a report, did the DCA suggest or request that you get something from us?
There's a person named Nadina Rezulani there, and Eileen Yap. Those are the people who can make that exception. They said it would be helpful if we reached out to, I also need to talk to the Gail Brewer's office and the community board.
Okay. How are things going at your restaurant otherwise?
I mean, they're going great, everything is steady, business is great, no problems, employment has been steady. We're opening a new location in 2 months in East Harlem, so everything's fine.
Have you has there been any concerns with your sidewalk cafe, any security issues?
Not at all. We had a couple of phone calls to the police inside and outside, but those are more like regular petty crimes in the neighborhood. That we had a couple in the past 2 years. I would think that most any business was, a victim of that.
So those are customers having something?
No, nothing rough, no fights, none of that. But we had one stolen bag, and we had one stolen cell phone in the restaurant, which unfortunately, I guess.
Have we got any noise complaints?
Oh, we did have one noise complaint for our annual Miss Harlem Shake event, for which we always inform the precinct and we get there okay, and we always have the same neighbor. We have 2 events in a year, which are bigger events. We are not a club. We don't, we don't do evening entertainment. We don't do late night. We sell food and beverages, and we have the Miss Harlem Shake competition. We have the Halloween event. For Miss Harlem Shake competition, we have this lady. She just doesn't like the idea, and she calls. That's all. That's all.
Wow.
But we informed Kenya Hooks, and we got an approval from the police in advance, so there was no problem.
I mean, I know that I'd spoken to Dennis, maybe it was in the fall, because your sidewalk cafe was further out than was
Yes, it
allowed.
was, and then you marked it with and that was, we do have a turnover of stuff. So once we hire a new dishwasher, we do have photos pasted, but because our sidewalk cafe has many tables, sometimes they just get a little confused. But this really helped, because now we have this cross on each side of the sidewalk that was spray painted, so there is no problem.
I didn't speak, but
I
did speak to
maybe
Dennis.
maybe
I did
Dennis
speak to
spray
Dennis
painted
did
it.
but
Yeah, I think he spray
because
painted
it was
it.
late.
Yeah, he spray painted it. So.
You have more comments?
Yes, I was gonna ask, does Maria or anyone else on that committee have any questions?
Your location's 124th Street Lynch.
Yes.
Correct.
Do you have any deliveries for your business?
Of course.
Okay, because right now I'm in conversation with the Whole Foods representatives who are requesting a sign of no standing, loading and unloading
Oh, it's gonna be
where they
huge.
are, which is right in front of your restaurant. There are 6 retail stores that are coming to the building, in front of your building. So we're in conversation about that because they're trying to figure out how their loading and unloading will impact the rest of the street. All the way down, there's a church, all the way to the other side, there's several areas there, and they're asking for no parking at any time.
I'm sorry, you're talking about Lenox Avenue or 124th Street? 124th.
124th Street. So it's a huge contentious issue that I'm dealing with in my committee. So I'm just trying to be aware of whether or not Whole Foods is going to reach out to the rest of the businesses on that street. So I would like your information so we can link the conversation with you.
Maria, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have your email. So they haven't reached out so far. Now
No, because we just we're in communication
okay.
like maybe a week and a half.
I don't know, we have issues now with our vendors complaining that they just shut off that whole street for construction the whole
Correct.
time, more or less,
Yeah.
like 5 out of 7
Correct.
days, they have to stop on Lenox, and I think that's a big interference with the bus stop there, because you have trucks oftentimes on the bus stop because they literally have no other choice.
you know, they have to deliver in the window of the morning. In the street is closed, there is no access to the street. They go up Lenox from 125th and they stop in front on the bus stop.
What I need from you is for us to communicate, and we put something in writing, so that there is a communication of what the issue would be, clearly communicated between myself, the borough president's office is really tightly working with us, the businesses, and that particular,
So I have a question, are they proposing that never will they allow the deliveries to take place in front of, oh, that's.
No, the sign is just loading, offloading, close to any parking access. So they want to take over and no cars be there at any point so that they can come and deliver whenever they want. And that is, not been something that has been agreed upon by anyone yet, it's just what they asked for. So right now, we have to be in conversation about the impacts of that, whether people are gonna agree to that or not. Most of the residents that have come out had said they don't want the sign there at all, but there has to be some negotiation process because the deliveries have to happen. And in order to maybe have this be, there are regulations that are different in different parts of the city. So if right now we can have a negotiation process that says we'd like to deliver at certain times, we'd like to not deliver at certain times, we'd like to know when deliveries are gonna happen, but all of the block has to speak. That has to happen, so that's why
I have my opinion of that,
that.
but I think in interest of
They
the
come to
residents
us.
and neighbors, it's reasonable that deliveries should happen in the morning time, not
Or
24/7.
overnight.
What happens is they come to us, just Whole Foods, and the rest of the building, commercial and residential people are not connected in this conversation. That's why I'm trying to connect you
Okay,
to the conversation.
I will provide my
Yeah.
feedback.
Please. Thank you.
You owe us 5 minutes on your next transportation.
Thank
committee
you.
meeting.
Oh, you
And
have to
also-
come, you came to my last one, so yeah.
It's
So
related
also
issues.
the-
We'll be able to
Transportation
connect you.
committee is.
I'm also gonna reach out to her as it relates to the homeless forum that we're
Yes.
planning on May 5th.
Transportation and homeless committees are adjourned.
That's right.
Um,
No, I'll get it. No, it's
It's not important. Yeah. So I'll be.
That's my first time going
I'll
on.
discuss your
At least up here.
Very interesting, which was pretty interesting, a few things. Very interesting.
All around.
What?
Let's finish our renewal because I see that
Just
Delish Restaurant Group
personality,
up there.
as people. Me, I'm very, I have to take a step back because
Okay, we're jumping back to renewal application, Delish Restaurant, Spot Dining,
I got a picture of
Four Bar.
Well, I have my patience with this now. It used to be good.
So you guys
That's when I got the calls, so I can't. I know I'm right there and I should be more patient, but
On March 17th,
This is the third.
third liquor license.
Have you had any issues since your last renewal?
No.
Any SLA violations? Any security issues, police activity?
No, we had, I mean, when you say like a noise complaint or something like you ask everyone, we do one party a year that Reggie Van Lee throws, because he's one of our, and it was 10:30, cops came by and said the music, you know, we got a music complaint that was being a little too loud. He said, but, then the cops said to me, you know, you told us about the party, because we told them about the party ahead of time. And then the cop said to me, technically, you're actually within the decibels, and all I'm gonna ask you to do is that by 11 o'clock, just, you know, can you, and I said, we'll, you know, the party will be done by then anyway, it doesn't matter, we can lower it now, and that was it. We, in the very beginning, we had a noise issue because not, only simply because our speakers were in the ceiling, and we did it that way for you know, to make it pretty, because, you know, you don't actually see the speakers. And the girl that lived above us on the second floor, she would come down, she's like, Leah, all I hear is boom, 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 boom. So we worked it out with her. We took the speakers out of the ceiling. And if we ever have any event for any reason, we let her know ahead of time. She has all our cell phone numbers. If she hears anything, she lets us know. But we haven't had an issue since probably year 2, you know, I mean, that was like in the very beginning.
And what are your hours? When do you open?
So right now, we're not doing lunch, so we're open from 5 p.m. until the kitchen closes 10:30, Monday through Thursdays, 11:30 Fridays and Saturdays. But that means, you know, you can put your last order in at 11:15, 11:20, so by 1 o'clock, everybody is done, gone, finished. You know, sometimes 12:30, but by 1, there's usually not anybody in the restaurant anymore.
Do you guys have any issues with trash? Because I know on that block there have been there's some nasty spots. A lot of garbage.
There are, like, for example, I don't know what to do. Yeah, well, when we had a wonderful carting company who went out of business for other reasons, but they were wonderful as far as pickup. So when we changed companies, same problem. You know, I would get a call saying, you know, your garbage wasn't picked up. So we go through that, but what do? We do the same thing, we drag it back downstairs. And then we had one person who said, well, we saw them dragging the garbage back downstairs, but I don't know where else you'd like me to put it until, I have nowhere else to put it except in the basement, until I get them to come back to pick it up. So we've been working on it, and now everything's been really cool. They've been on top of it, and they've been coming, you know, not missing a day, etc. But every time there's a new company and a new, I guess, run for them, there's always some kind of issue on certain days. They just
Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning, a Sunday morning, you know, it depends, but it's always those, you know, so. But we haven't had it since then, so. But what I was gonna tell you though is, like, in front of our restaurant, somebody tied up a shopping cart and then filled the shopping cart with, like, food, like, with things. So I thought, well, it's probably, you know, I was feeling like it was my obligation to leave it alone because they probably gonna come back to get it later, and it was probably the food that they were counting on for the day. But now it's 3 weeks and it's still there, and it's locked in front of it. It's locked in front of the restaurant.
Did you call 311?
I did not. I should have, actually. I kept, you know, because, you know, my staff is a very friendly staff, and we know everybody, we know everyone from the homeless people to the people who live in the community, and we kept asking around, you know, whose card is this, because we're gonna call and get rid of it, whose card is it, come and get it, because usually if you put the word out, they come and get it. Well, they didn't come and get it. No, no, like the food was taken, like now it just, I guess it's, you know. Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, but you think something, right? But that whole little strip, to be honest with you, is rough with garbage. That whole, from the buildings, like garbage is there a lot.
When you put the garbage in the basement, would it have?
Oh no, it doesn't
It's
just
in a
go.
special
It's
storage room.
and then it's in a garbage pail. So the bags are inside a garbage pail and closed up. But it's taken out every day. The only time it goes back downstairs if something does happen so that, you know, they don't come pick it up. But it never sits there for any length of time. No.
How many people do you employ?
Less than 10. Everybody is from the local community, and the only person who didn't live there moved there once he started working.
A Joe guy, right?
Joe, yeah.
Keep him around?
Yeah, we keep him around just a little bit. Joe is one of our main guys. He started out with us 6 years ago, and he started out as a busboy who didn't speak really much English because his parents were from Burkina Faso. He lived in Switzerland, and then came to the States, and now we gave him some ownership. So.
Please fill out our lovely form.
Yes, ma'am.
We would greatly appreciate feedback.
Any questions from the committee on the 5 and Diamond renewal?
Nothing on the renewal, but just for everyone, I'll make a quick announcement before other businesses leave. On May 5th, we're having a homeless forum at the National Black Theater. And we actually would like to have all the businesses engaged because we're trying to develop a coalition to help homelessness and trying to figure out the best way to do that in terms of residents, business, agency, and community involvement and how we can tackle it together.
Absolutely, I'd love to be a part of it.
Wonderful.
Take a picture of the clock and have it up
Sure.
So the guy saw something, he possibly knows he's a part owner.
That's right.
You have a position available for both.
Absolutely, come see me.
Anything else from the board? Any questions from the community for 5 and Diamond liquor license renewal?
We have that before you go, please.
Yes, I'm gonna sit down and do it right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to new applications. N&D Restaurant doing business as Olive Garden Italian Restaurant, 100 West 125th Street, also known as the Whole Foods Building.
Are you garden?
Yes.
Okay, garden.
And you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, my name is Jill Sandhouse. I'm counselor to the Olive Garden, and I have Daryl Cunningham with me.
Hey, I'm Daryl Cunningham. I'll be the general manager.
Okay.
You will be general manager, great.
Yes.
And did you ask my question?
No. You took the delay.
No. I actually live in New Jersey.
So far.
Are you looking for a place?
Yeah, I got actually, my girlfriend's from the area, so I might actually end up coming over here, because this is the restaurant I'm staying in. Excuse me?
So we're here tonight to talk to you about the new restaurant right down the street at 125th Street. The maximum occupancy of the restaurant will be 327 people. Most of that will occur at tables. I think there's only 8 spaces at the bar area. For those of you who don't know, Olive Garden is a very family-friendly and casual restaurant. The operators have been in business for a very long time, very experienced. There are 29 Olive Garden restaurants around the state of New York, and they operate under some other businesses as well. So they've been in business a long time. So they're very, very experienced, not only in New York State but also across the country. We expect that there's going to be about 160 employees. 50 of those will be full-time. I know Daryl's already been out and about in the community, sort of making that well known to some of the community groups that are in the area. I'll give Daryl an opportunity to talk a little bit about salaries that are competitive and some of the team benefits that come along with employment. In addition to Daryl talking to some community members, we're going to be advertising positions on the internet as well as distributing flyers in the community. And the goal really is to hire from within the local community. That's the goal. So, so any questions you have, we're happy to answer them, and we respectfully request your support for this new restaurant coming to the area.
You mentioned you've spoken with some of the community groups in the area. You said was the Harlem Community Development Corporation.
I met with Curtis Archer today. I meet with Barbara Askins tomorrow. I've been to the YMCA earlier today and going to the Boys and Girls Club tomorrow. So I'm really focused on kind of bringing our brand to the community and see how we can give back.
You said YMCA, one other organization you mentioned?
YMCA, meeting with Barbara Askins tomorrow, and going to the Boys and Girls Club tomorrow.
I know you sent us a list of benefits. Let's talk about your compensation first. What would you be paying folks?
Okay. On average, we pay our folks about $15 an hour. Servers that come in will be making more or less, depending on the fish that they get. But also, in addition to that, we offer a lot of benefits just for coming on board. One of the things that we do is we have a program called Darden Dimes, where everyone in theory donates 10 cents out of each check, right? But of course, the company adds up to a lot of money. So an example of how that will work is, let's say, one of our employees' parents died, which is a true story. Her parents died, didn't have any insurance. The company donated $1,000 to her to help pay for the funeral costs. Another benefit that we have is that there's a lot of room for growth. So an example would be I started out as a server, but now I'm the general manager. My boss actually started out as a bartender, and now he's a director. So there's lots of opportunity for growth. We offer 401k. We even offer pet insurance. So, yeah.
Wow.
And do these benefits differ depending on whether you're full-time or part-time?
So for the as far as medical, dental, that's all for full-time employees. But everything else, including even the discount mall, where we offer discounts on hotel rooms, amusement park tickets, things like that. That's for any employee. Any employee, as long as they're over 21 years of age, can also buy stocks under the purchase discount plan. So there's pretty good mixture of benefits for everyone, no matter how many hours you work.
Okay. And what is going to distinguish between your full-time and part-time employees in terms of, is it so many hours, like if I'm
30 hours.
waiting tables and I'm full-time and I work 30 hours on full-time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's not a distinction between management and servers or?
No.
Okay. you'll be the sole general manager?
Just me. There'll be 4 managers under me, but I'll be the one that's responsible for the restaurant.
And have you hired those managers yet?
Yes.
Are they folks from within your organization, or did you reach out?
Folks from within. But as far as hiring, you know, in the community, we're actually well, this is something that I just started. When I met with Kurt today, he invited us to his job fair on May 19th. So we'll be there. You know, we're having an open house as well. So we're even minimizing the amount of transfers that we have coming in from the other boroughs, simply because we want to try to get as many people from Harlem as we can. They know the community, it's part of the community. And I noticed that everyone in this community really has a lot of pride, and that's kind of what we want to bring to the restaurant.
Where are you going to be located in the building?
2nd floor.
2nd floor, so everyone's like mezzanine?
Yeah, there'll be an escalator and an elevator that leads right up to the entrance.
Okay, fully ADA compliant, I assume, elevator upstairs. Okay. So I did speak to your partner about the, you know, we usually ask for petitions of support from neighbors and the like, but you're kind of in a, you don't really have neighbors upstairs or even around you.
Right.
And I didn't really think of standing on the corner asking shoppers, saying whether they like Olive Garden or not. But I'm glad that you've been reaching out to the organizations that we steer you to. Have you received any opposition, any pushback, any negative views on you guys opening up?
No, not at all. And actually, as I was talking to some people in the community today, you know, there's no one here from Red Lobster. No. I heard that they, you know, didn't really take the time to do the outreach, and that's why I'm doing it now. We don't open until July. We're not even, you know, the building's not even going to be complete until June. But, you know, even throughout the course of like the winter, I've kind of been reaching out to businesses in the area, trying to be friendly. So.
Just as another tip, given that you brought in your opposition's name, one of the things that they did start with that was not appreciated by the community was putting in the automatic tips on your bill. And that was something that was covered widely in the newspapers. And I wouldn't suggest that.
No, we don't have any plans on doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, you and I were talking a little bit before, you know, we've had some big change. So we've had Red Lobster, and we had Joe's Crab, we have, you know, Buffalo Wild Wings. Service is really critical. We've had some places that turned into because in part, I think, just poor service. And once you get that reputation, people don't want to put up with that. You know, it seems to me that Buffalo Wild Wings seems to be doing a good job so far, whatever they're doing. So that's just my 2 cents on that. As far as, so you're seeking full liquor license application, I know you're a family-friendly place, but we've had problems with large restaurants who have instituted things like $2 Tuesdays. And, you know, even my family will get sloshed. Drinks all Tuesday night.
Tonight, John.